Well, hey friends, and welcome to another episode of Church Folk in the Cafe Getting Coffee. That is a mouthful. Cheers. I have the privilege of being here with this guy. You should know him, hopefully, as the senior pastor, Dr. Daniel Irving, and I get to interview you. So did I get your name right? Is that who you are?
You did.
Okay. So tell us who you are. Tell us about your family a little bit.
So you've seen my family around. I got 3 kids. My twin girls are 12. My son is 8. He's the one with the very white blonde hair, running around sneaking extra cups of hot chocolate and donuts every chance he can.
Yes.
My wife Jean and I have been married for 16 years. August the 20th, we've actually been together for 20 years.
Oh.
We met at SMU. She was a freshman, I was a sophomore RA. She came to my door asking if there was a resident there that I had, and I said no, but you're welcome to come hang out with me, and the rest is a really wonderful history. So it's been a great 20 years.
The question I always have is, would she tell it the same way that you do? Because we have different versions of it. Okay.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
All right. Do you have any nicknames?
No. Don't call me Dan. I don't like Dan, and I don't like Danny. I know someone's gonna say it now because I've said this, but I like Daniel.
That's great. You know, one of our church members Sunday was telling me that I look like your twin. At least on the website. It was fascinating.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's the first time I heard that.
That's
so that's
very
good.
interesting.
All right, favorite hot drink?
Coffee.
Any
Black
kind of way?
coffee.
Okay. Are you like a coffee snob? Does it have to be very good coffee?
We have a Keurig machine here, and I tend to bring my own. It's like a Pete's coffee, but the men's breakfast on Tuesday morning, I drink the Folgers or whatever it is. Gotta have a cup of coffee in the morning, though.
Yes.
Or 5.
Yeah, or 5. Cold drink. Favorite cold drink?
Oh, I kind of go on different crazes, but I've been drinking Coke Zero for a while, and I like iced tea as well.
Nice. Okay, favorite music?
Classic rock.
Classic rock.
That's what I grew up with my dad, and what's strange is that the classic rock stations continue to get more modern music. So now the classic rock's got music from the 80s and the 90s.
Right.
So I guess classic's taken on a different definition.
I was about to say the classic rock stations on Spotify they're trash.
Yeah, well, I've got, I like Zeppelin, Rolling Stones, the Beatles, lots of those different groups influenced by my dad.
That's good. I share that too. All right, last movie you saw in the theater?
Oh, I saw Thor.
Nice. Thumbs up?
Thumbs like diagonally up.
Okay.
It was pretty good.
And you like all the others, and this one?
I like all the Marvel ones.
Okay.
I like the previous Thor movie better than this one, but it was fun.
Okay. Favorite, or what's the latest TV show that you binge watched?
Oh, it was Stranger Things.
Okay.
It's a pretty intense show, pretty freaky.
Yeah.
But I started watching it when it first came out, and I just had to watch it. Well, I had to watch the latest season.
It's one of those shows where your pastor says they watch it. You kind of have to put you want to say, hey, just be advised. Maybe look into it yourself.
Just because I've watched a show does not mean I recommend it for general congregational viewing.
That's right. Yeah, that's good. I share the same thing. Okay, favorite book?
Oh, favorite book. Goodness. Literary-wise, I like John Steinbeck's East of Eden. I like Steinbeck. I've read most of his stuff, so probably that one for a novel.
Good. Okay, what do you do to recharge?
So I take naps. I like to play golf. Because when I'm near the church, it's hard to kind of release. It's easy when I go on vacation or when I'm away for a while.
That's good.
That's always helpful, so we try to do that.
What's your favorite place that you've traveled to?
Israel. I've been blessed to go 4 times. We're actually going to take a trip in October of 23, so if you're interested, contact me. The the trip leader is going to be guest preaching and teaching for us in Advent this year, so we're really excited about that. But because I've been able to go those so many times, I actually have friends there and people I stay connected to, shopkeepers and others. So it's just wonderful to walk in Jesus' footsteps and to experience the geography of the scriptures.
Nice. Okay, changing pace here. You are stranded on an island, and there's an island chef, but that chef can only make one meal. What is it?
Quesadillas.
Quesadillas. Just cheese?
I guess.
Oh, you just reverted back to 12.
Quesadillas,
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, favorite restaurant in town?
La Hacienda de mis Padres. It's my...
You know what that is in English?
Yeah, the house of my parents.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. Well done.
Yeah.
Okay, you had a meal with 3 people, living or dead. Who would you choose?
Okay, so John Wesley would not be a very fun dinner guest, so
No.
he is a no-go. My grandpa, my dad's dad, he died when he was in his 40s, and so I never met him. So I would love to have dinner with him. I would love to have dinner with Martin Luther King Jr.
Oh, that's good.
And I think Tom Hanks for an actor. I really like Tom Hanks and his. I don't know how the 3 of them would get along, but it'd be interesting.
I'm just seeing that table. That's amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
All right, connect on social media. Are you on social media?
Yeah,
What's
I am
your
on
favorite?
Instagram because I want to see what my wife is posting.
There you go.
I'm on Facebook because a lot of folks at the church will message on that, and it's helpful to get to see a little bit of how church folks and others live their lives, you know. And then I look at Twitter every once in a while.
Yeah.
But it can become a rabbit hole.
Yes.
Suck up a lot of time.
I get notifications for when Lauren posts things. So
That's
like
helpful.
on all the social medias, it just pushes me a notification.
Make sure they're not posting
Let
anything
me check what
embarrassing.
that is. That's
right.
right. Okay, phone apps that you cannot live without. Give me 3.
The Bible app, Church Answer, but you know I use that a lot. I've been playing the game Threes. It's you swipe around. 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. And anyway, if you know, you know.
It's keeping your basic math sharp. Is that what you're trying to do?
Yeah, that's it. And then the Notes app. I do most of my sermon planning, visioning, taking down different things I think of or see, just to I got to keep a record of what goes through my crazy head.
That's good. Okay, would you sing at karaoke night?
Yes.
And what would you sing? What's the number 1 song?
Come Sail Away by Styx.
I hate karaoke, but I would show up for that.
You'd show up for that?
Yeah. Okay, would you rather have a fast forward, a pause, or a rewind button?
Right now, probably fast forward.
Yeah.
And I don't think I would want to rewind much.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, I think a pause button is good, but I would like to fast forward at least a couple months. Would be helpful.
There's nothing to read between the lines there. Okay, that's the end of round 1.
Round 1, good coffee.
All right, round 2. What is your call story?
Well, I did grow up in a Christian home. My parents' families, my mom's family was Presbyterian from Illinois. They moved down to Alabama when my mom was young. My dad's family is from Mississippi and Alabama. They grew up Catholic and a Church of Christ. And so when my mom and dad started dating and got married, they were high school sweethearts, went to college together. They looked for something, I guess, in the middle, and they found the Methodist Church. So I was baptized in a Methodist church in Birmingham, Alabama. Grew up in a Methodist church in Duncanville, Texas, where I lived from when I was 3 till 11, and then grew up at St. Peter's Methodist in in Katy, and I've always felt like I've had a relationship with God. And it's, sometimes more distant than others, but it's between my 8th and 9th grade year of high school. I was at St. Peter's, and I had already been pretty involved in church stuff, not just attending, but being asked to lead things and for my peers. But we were in the sanctuary at St. Peter's Methodist, and it was a night where the youth director had invited a band. Well, nobody knew they were a very charismatic Pentecostal band. And at the end of the service, they asked if anybody wanted prayer. Well, I knew pretty formal prayers. That was it. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll have somebody pray for me. And I went forward, and the pastor laid hands on me, and I immediately felt the presence of the Holy Spirit. And had this real sense in a very charismatic moment that God was saying, I've called you, I've set you apart. The senior pastor had just started, and so she was there that day and was thinking, what in the world is happening in this traditional Methodist church sanctuary? But she was incredibly helpful in guiding that to understand that God was calling me into ministry. And as a youth, I thought I wanted to go youth ministry. College student, I wanted to go into college ministry. But it became pretty clear that I wanted to be a pastor for all stages of life, a local church pastor. And really, in many ways, this church is the fulfillment of the things I felt called to.
That's awesome. Okay, favorite book of the Bible?
I guess the Gospel of Luke.
Nice. What do you love about Luke?
It's got the best parables. Luke's got the lost coins, a lamb and son.
Yeah.
It's got the Good Samaritan.
Yeah.
It's
good. Okay, the character in the Bible that you identify with the most?
It's either Gideon or Elijah. Probably Elijah, because Elijah gets very passionate about the things of God. He's zealous for the Lord, but Elijah also struggles quite a bit. And I have had moments in my life of great struggle, moments of my life where I've been felt very depressed. Elijah shows signs of depression in his story. And then he also has times where he is on top of the world, and I identify with that. So I've found myself to identify more with Elijah over the years, especially while I've been in ministry.
That's awesome. All right, what is the way that you connect with God the most?
I certainly connect with God through singing. That's the place that I feel closest to God in worship. And thankfully, at this church, sometimes for pastors, you're so focused on leading worship that you don't necessarily feel like you're experiencing worship.
Right.
Our music ministry in both the table and traditional services really help to usher me into the presence of God and feel like when I'm singing those songs, I'm connecting. And then through study.
Yeah.
Study is the other one. Studying scripture text, digging deep, learning new things.
It's good. Favorite worship song right now?
The Church's One Foundation, the hymn.
Love it. Okay, what is one question you'd like to ask God?
I think it would be around the question of suffering. Why is there suffering?
Right.
And I think I've got some answers to that.
Yeah.
But it would be nice to hear it from the source.
Yeah.
Not the source of suffering, but the one who can give meaning to it.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's why does God intervene in some and not in others, or it seems that he doesn't. Right. Yeah. That's the end of round 2. Well done.
It's a great way to end.
You survived.
Okay.
All right, cheers.
Cheers. Round 2.
Round 3. What do you love about being a Methodist?
Oh goodness. Well, it's all I've been my life. So I'm a Methodist. I'm a Methodist. I love the balance of word and sacrament, that we really care deeply about the scriptures. I love that We also are a sacramental church, both through the sacraments of baptism and Holy Communion, and the way in which both of those help us to show that we are a part of God's great story. I love the diversity within the church, of styles of worship, of the fact that we are an international church, continuing to grow in that way. I love that even though we don't always think alike, we can love alike, in John Wesley's words. And there's just so much. I can't see myself ever not being a Methodist.
Yeah, that's good. All right, what do you love specifically about this church? You've been here for 2 years.
A little over 2 years, yeah. Oh, this church in so many ways is a fulfillment of what I felt God calling me to. As I've said before, it's multi-generational. So my ministry is to everyone from infants to those who have gone on to be with the Lord. It's multi-ethnic. I love that we have a thriving celebración service. I studied Spanish. I'm not fluent, but I studied Spanish. I lived in Spain for a while. I've always felt that that Spanish-speaking ministry would be a part of my ministry somehow. Yeah. This has helped me to see how that's fulfilled. Yeah. And then that we're multi-site, or we're going to be. Yeah. You know, I've been a church planter of a church community. Yeah. I'm so excited about the opportunity that we have to plant a new community north of us. I love our different communities of Celebración, the table, the traditional service, and that there's not just one way to worship, but that we really have so many different options and ways for people to connect with God.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. One of the biggest things that ties it all together is this vision for life better together. So what does, and you see it everywhere, what does that mean to you? And on our mug.
This mug here.
Yes.
Life better together. I do believe life is better. Life is better than we could possibly imagine by having a relationship with Christ. That's what we offer. We offer people Christ. We know that there is no better way than to live in relationship with God through Jesus Christ, and that we're not created to live alone. Yeah. We're created to be in community. And so that's the together piece, together with Jesus, together in community. Right. The way in which that helps us to live out Jesus' call to love God and love neighbor. And I love seeing that taking place here at this church.
That's good. All right, so last question. What is one thing you hope for everyone at First Methodist Conroe?
I hope everybody will fully live into that vision of life better together. That you would worship every week, whether it's in person, online, if you're visiting family, maybe at someone else's church. Worship is where we keep our relationship with God alive. It's where we give back to God what God is due. That you would grow together in a life group, that you would grow individually in your relationship with God, but also in community, that you would have people that know your hurts, that celebrate your joys, that are praying for you, that can hold you accountable and can encourage you, that you would find some way to serve, both here on Sunday mornings and also in the community. Jesus said he did not come to be served, but to serve, and we follow him, and so that's what we should do. That you would learn the joy of generosity and giving together as a community, that not all of us give the same amounts, but we all give the same share of what God, and that you would witness together, that you would share what God is doing in your life. This is not knocking on the door and saying, do you know Jesus loves you, which is not a bad thing to do, but it's about sharing something that's going on in your life with someone who doesn't know Christ, or someone who doesn't necessarily have a relationship with God, and being able to share what God is doing in you and helping to identify that in other people. So I know that those are 5 things that I would hope. But it's part of the vision.
It's packaged together in the vision.
It is packaged together in the vision that we have here.
Daniel, you should be the pastor.
I think I'll take that job.
Good job. Thanks for coming to Church Folk in the Cafe having coffee.